I'm on the phone with Joseph Williams, lead singer for the Grammy Award-winning band Toto, coming to Grand Junction August 11th. And Joseph, we are beyond excited about Toto bringing the 40 Trips Around the Sun tour to Western Colorado. Toto celebrates their 40th anniversary. A lot has happened in 40 years. But Joseph, you were a part of some of those hit-making days in the 80s. Can you give fans here a little perspective on your history with Toto and some of the things you've done musically during the times that you weren't with the band?
Well, my history with the band goes back before there was a band. I was just sort of family friends with a lot of these guys and grew up in the same part of town, playing the same high dances and those kinds of things. So I knew all these guys. When they were looking for somebody to, take the lead singer slot after they were having some problems, a mutual friend just suggested that I come in and see them, and that's really how that sort of came about. And the rest is pretty much history.
What was it, Joseph, that got you started down that musical path?
Well, I grew up in a household filled with music and dance and film and just pretty much the entertainment business, radio. My grandparents were radio actors, and so I don't think I was destined to do anything else but do something in the entertainment field.
So you've done solo albums. I know you've done some composing for movies, television. What's that like?
Well, it's a completely different animal than standing on stage singing rock and roll, that's for sure. I worked when my kids were little during the 90s and early 2000s. I worked in television, writing scores for TV shows, which is just a completely different kind of a job. It's writing, and that part of it is great, but it's not very glamorous.
One of my favorite Toto songs is one that you co-wrote and sang lead vocals on, Pamela. Who is Pamela? Is she a real person?
Pamela was based on a real person. It was a girl who I dated back in the day, back in the 80s. But then David Page kind of came up with the concept for the song, and he actually wanted to use that name before I even came in on the song. And so it's a sort of a combination of something he had in his head and a girlfriend I once had.
I love the song. Hey, if someone isn't real familiar with your work and was going to listen to just one song or album that you've recorded, what would you want it to be?
Of my work? Well, I would probably want it to be this latest upcoming thing that hasn't been released yet that we just finished. It's a standalone Toto album that we're calling Old is New, and it's 10 new songs, and I'm pretty proud of this one.
And when can we expect that?
Well, it should be part of the box set, which will include all the albums remastered, the Greatest Hits album, which is 40 Trips Around the Sun, with 3 new songs, and the 3 new songs are from this new standalone album. And that, I think they're going to call that Old is New.
Okay, fantastic. It's a real thrill for fans to be able to hear these great Toto songs in person after all these years. What does this mean to you and the band at this point in your career to be able to celebrate 40 years?
Well, it's nice to be alive, number one. We're a band that's fortunate to have something like a song like Africa to have kept this whole thing going for as long as it has, and even giving it new life with covers by Weezer and who knows what all.
And that kind of leads me to my next question, Joseph. Of all the great Toto hit songs you perform in concert, which one is the absolute favorite that gives the crowd that mic drop moment at the show?
Well, of course, it has to be Africa. I mean, performing Africa is more like an event than it is, just listening to a song.
I'm on the phone with Toto lead singer Joseph Williams. The 40 Trips Around the Sun tour comes to Grand Junction August 11th at the amphitheater at Las Colonias Park. Let me ask you this. When you aren't playing, singing, recording, traveling, what does Joseph Williams do for fun?
Well, I fly drones a lot. And I'm a hiker.
And, of course, you're coming to Western Colorado where hiking is king. I know you don't have a lot of time while you're here, but have you been to Western Colorado before?
A few times, but not to hike or anything like that. I'd love to actually spend some time, but no, I've just been sort of come through a bunch just to do shows.
Yeah, this is quite an extensive tour that extends all the way into November. Hey, you can come back next spring. But what are some of the challenges, Joseph, of doing a big tour like this? Is it any different than it was 30 years ago?
Not really. I mean, they're fatiguing. Tours like this can be extremely fatiguing, and you just have to combat that by doing, the necessary things, trying to get enough rest and all of that. But it's not much different than the old days. The old days, I guess we, maybe bounced back a little bit easier than we do now, but it's not much different.
You think the audiences are the same?
The audiences are better in some ways, but because of Africa having a sort of a resurgence with all these different artists using it, we're seeing a lot younger crowds come to these shows, which is really cool.
That is very cool, because I imagine there's a lot of gray hair at your shows, but boy, a new generation being introduced to the music of Toto. And you mentioned earlier, Joseph, the 40 Trips Around the Sun album. Talk more about that and why this is a must-have for Toto fans.
Well, the entire package, this 40th anniversary package, is we're going to call it All In, which is exactly what it is. It's everything you could possibly want in terms of a collectible from this band. It's every piece of music that the band's ever done, remastered, a huge book with all kinds of, people writing reviews and notes and essays and all kinds. It's quite a large package. It's a must-have just because it really represents the entire 40 years of the band.
Okay, last thing, Joseph, let's talk about the show here in Grand Junction. I want to ask you this. When you're performing these songs on stage, are you trying to recreate that sound that's on the album, that's on the radio, or is this more of a chance to give it a little different twist and breathe a little new life to it?
Well, we always start by trying to recreate the record in terms of like how we rehearse the song, and then over the course of a tour, the live version of it takes on its own sort of personality, and it's obviously going to be different from how the record sounds. But when we start rehearsing, we always start by trying to mimic the exact arrangement of the record, so to speak.
So at the show, we'll hear the Toto hits and some of the new stuff as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, August 11th is the date. Toto coming to Grand Junction. Joseph Williams, thank you so much for the visit, and we look forward to having you in Grand Junction.
My pleasure. Thanks for your time.